You're listening to That's Apparent with Tanya and Sean.
Welcome back to podcast number 2.
Hello, everyone.
We are going to discuss on this podcast deciding to or not to have children and when is the right time in your marriage to have those children.
Right, to be or not to be pestered for the rest of your days.
Yeah, that is very much the case, yes. We are going to try to discuss the cons and pros of both of those topics throughout this episode. And for our children listening in the future, Mommy and Daddy love you.
Don't take this the wrong way, please.
We love you.
We love you so much.
We would have you
Just
over and over again.
You sometimes.
100 times. So don't take anything we say in this podcast personally, just FYI.
But it's very personal.
Yes,
know that.
We're going to get a little bit personal. So first we're going to talk about deciding to have kids or not to have kids. So I know that's something on everybody's mind, newly married or maybe even not married. We don't judge either way. Whatever floats your boat.
And I think this is the first reservation that people have. It's the understanding that kids are expensive.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Kids,
yes.
Just do a whole lot of damage on your financial situation.
Yes.
And that was, I think, my biggest reservation, too, because I was like, listen, we can't afford kids. I was like, I don't think we're ready to start doing this yet.
However, I'm from the camp that if you wait until you're financially ready to have children, you'll never have children.
And it's so true. I realize that now, if I really would have, stuck to that principle of, we're not financially ready, we would
never have kids.
You're never ready.
No.
You're never, especially, middle class, working middle class like we are.
There's always something.
Yep.
There's always something that needs your financial attention. And if we did not have kids until now, we're now almost mid-30s. If we did not have kids, we would have went on probably 10 times the amount of vacations.
Oh, yeah.
At least. Probably have much more expensive cars, and we would have still lived above our means like we do now anyway. And we would not have kids because we would never have been financially ready for them. So there's definitely something to be said for not having kids if you definitely cannot handle it financially at all.
Yeah, if you're if you're bordering on homeless,
yes, you need to be able to provide for them.
Trust me that having kids will push you over the edge, and you will be outdoors with those children. And I mean, when that happens, there's places where those kids tend to go because they won't allow them to be out on the street. It's fine if you sleep on the street. Government doesn't care about that, but.
So I would not recommend it if you're almost homeless.
Yeah, so within reason, but still,
yes.
Don't if you're doing okay, not great, but you've got your little money struggles here and there. Don't let that be the reason to not have kids.
You make it work.
You never will. Then
you'll make it work. You re-budget,
right,
and you figure it out. And
that's how we were. We were you know what? Let's just do this, and we'll figure it out. And you know what? We did.
You change your priorities. So instead of buying yourself a brand new outfit, you get some outfits for your kids. So you definitely change.
It changes your priorities.
Yeah, change your priorities big time. And definitely a baby doesn't need as much as you think they do. So don't let all of the store ads and commercials and registries really pull you into the fact that you need all of these high-tech gadgets for your baby, because you really don't.
Well, and
you really don't.
The cool thing about a planned pregnancy, too, is that you have time. You have time to prepare. And
even unplanned, you have 9 months.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, if it's planned and you're thinking about it a year before you're going to go ahead and have the kid, that's a lot of time that you have to prepare.
Yes. And stocking up on diapers,
that's what I was gonna get into.
Even a small pack of diapers with coupons. We would do that. We would save up our coupons, make sure we use them all the time.
For all of your kid and baby, especially baby needs.
And we stocked up on diapers and wipes. And for our first child, we knew we were going to be formula feeding with him. So we even were buying formula before he was born. So it definitely helped to have a lot of that on hand prior. And I think we went, especially with our second child, we even knew even better to stock up on diapers. I believe we went almost 9 months without buying diapers, which was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
It was really cool. So definitely there's ways financially to plan ahead, and definitely make a priority for the things you definitely need or want to splurge on. And keep in mind that you don't need the highest tech everything. I know there's even way more high tech things out now than when we had kids.
There's some really cool stuff
like
out there.
Now there's a stroller that, or it's a car seat that turns into a stroller. You just take it out and then it turns into a stroller and you wheel it around.
I saw that.
There's like, video cameras that now Bluetooth to your phone so you can watch it from wherever.
That's my jam. I would have that.
Yeah,
if we had kids again.
So back in the day when we had kids 11 years ago, they just really came out with video monitors, was really kind of like just starting.
Yeah.
And we had a small handheld video monitor. It was the smallest square little black and white screen, very fuzzy half the time. But that was probably our number one splurge that we loved.
Yeah, because it was portable.
It was so cool.
It didn't have to be plugged in. It was battery, like it charged up.
You could walk around with it.
You could carry that little screen with you anywhere.
See what they're doing.
And see what your kid was up to.
Yeah, it was great. So that was something I would have splurged on again and purchased. And probably the swing. We got like a pretty high-tech swing you could plug your iPod into.
Yeah,
you could put the car seat in it. It was like a pod swing. It was really cool. So that was the other thing that kind of saved our lives when our babies were little. But other than that, I think we didn't go crazy on a lot of the other gear. And they slept in a pack and play next to our bed for the first 6 months, I think, for each of them. At least definitely our second child, because I was breastfeeding her. So that was a pretty long time that we didn't even need to have a nursery all prepared. So, you don't have to feel like everything has to be just perfect and in place.
If the nursery isn't done or isn't ready, no big deal.
It's not even a big deal.
Don't stress. It's really not a problem.
Yeah,
because you're not going to be using that room much.
They have no idea. And their first Christmas, we probably gave our first child 100 things for their first Christmas, thinking it had to be so awesome. Now going back, I should have just wrapped up some diapers and wipes and Santa really wanted you to be well, taken care of in the diaper department. Really. There was no reason that we had to overdo it on things like that. So definitely keep that in mind, that there's ways financially to cut back. If you are able to breastfeed, that definitely saves you a lot of money. But I did not my first child, and I'm all for whatever you're comfortable with. So, definitely either way, whatever works out for you is totally fine. But yeah, there's definitely ways to cut back financially. So finances can be a pro and a con, I would say, right? Because we can, it's a con because it definitely does hit your wallet big time. But it can be dealt with. It's something that we can overcome.
Yeah, you make adjustments and you just figure it out. Okay, so this is a con to having kids. They really take up a lot of your time. They really stress or put stress on a marriage.
Yes.
So
they really try your relationship, and you have to be able to give a lot, because for a mom especially, to give all to your baby and then to have anything left for your husband, and then even maybe try to take care of yourself.
Husbands are babies sometimes, right?
Oh, yes, they are. Let's not even go into when husbands are sick.
We try.
Let's,
we try. We do a lot, though.
Let's glaze over that.
We deserve the right to be babies sometimes.
Oh, not when you have a baby that's hanging on you all day. The last thing you need is another baby.
Well, kids require a lot of attention.
Yes.
They require it. So,
it's so draining.
Naturally, you're going to give that to them. But then, there's a relationship there that's not getting nurtured.
Yes.
You know?
So you need to start out with a very healthy, strong relationship with your husband before you embark on having children.
That foundation is very important.
Yes, because if you are already on the edge or you're rocky, having kids is not going to fix things.
Not going to fix it. No.
It's definitely going to make things worse.
Challenge it more. So for like new couples, like newer relationships, maybe like, you know, people that were together for like a year and got married and then had kids right away, like I could see that being very difficult because you don't have as much of an established foundation of a relationship to go off of.
And that's when you're going to find all of the things that annoy you or aggravate you about your spouse is when you have kids. And you either do or don't get the help that you need. So that's when everything's going to come out. So you need to be very, very strong to be able to get through that. So that's definitely a con if your relationship, even if your relationship is strong, it's still hard. So that's something that's definitely a con.
That's a con.
Yeah.
So what's a pro?
They take care of you when you're older, hopefully.
Wow, you fast forward so far. They take care of you when you're older.
Well, like, you know, if
we don't even know. What if ours don't?
I hope so.
You could be lying right now to our brand new audience.
Well, if our kids are listening to this one day, kids, put me in a great nursing home.
Help us out.
Like a really nice one.
Do the right thing, kids.
Or take me in. Let me live in your basement. We'll have fun.
I want a room, like a nice room.
Oh,
somewhere like in the West
like
Wing.
A resort.
The West Wing.
The West Wing?
The West Wing is forbidden.
Okay, beast. Anyway, all right, so that's a pro, right? Like,
yes.
If your kids actually follow through and take care of you.
Let's come up with like a real pro. That's like that's so far in the future.
Okay, a real pro.
People are looking for something now.
A real pro, honestly, is if your relationship is already strong, having kids can make you have a stronger family unit.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna feel like you have a more fulfilled life. You know?
Yes,
like there's that sense of completion there. Like we have it all now. You got like we got the $1 million family. You know.
Yes, and you feel like you have a legacy to carry on your family. Like your kids will grow up, they will go off to do great things, you'll get rewarded. I mean, just, you know, seeing our son, he just was in a guitar concert and he goes to a performing arts school, which was something new he did this year. And to see him up on stage, he was singing the entire song and playing guitar was a very proud moment for us. And
I'm not going to lie, I got a little teary-eyed just seeing him play and sing all by, well, not all by himself, but practically like carrying it, you know.
There were three guitarists and he was the main guitar player
the only one
and
singing.
the only one singing.
So yeah, that was
really
brave.
Cool. And next weekend we're going to see our daughter in her dance recital and she has 4 different routines, I believe. Wow. So it'll be really neat to see your kids go off and do these great things and you feel this sense of pride and accomplishment like I raised that child.
Yeah, I contributed to this.
I helped my child get to these awesome moments for them. So, and really the most rewarding is your child like hugging or kissing you and thanking you for things. The affection you get from your child.
It's very rewarding just having their love return to you, you know. It's not something you can even describe. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's it's something special that, you know, parents understand. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a parent yet, like that's something that will change you.
And you really feel that the moment you give birth as a woman, like the minute your child comes out, you initially have that love for the child that you never thought you would have. Like take your love for your husband or significant other and multiply it times 1,000. And that's what you have with your child.
Like in that moment.
Yeah, it's totally different. And you have that unconditional love and want to provide for that child. So that's definitely a pro. That's something that's pretty awesome.
The pros are good.
Yeah.
The pros are solid. The cons are real.
What about the next con?
What is the next con? We have no script here, people. I'm just letting you know. Like,
we're flying by the seat of our pants here.
Everything that we do, I think, and this may be the strategy going forward. We're just winging it.
Yes, we're totally winging it.
We're just thinking of this stuff like
as we go. I think
to keep it fun.
I think another con would be stress. Think about your stress level.
You're right. That's one of my big ones too, because
that's definitely your topic.
My kids
carry this.
I will carry this and to the finish line because my kids stress me out to no end.
Oh gosh, yeah,
and
so bad.
And not just me. No,
so. they're very. Yeah, I don't even know the word. They're very trying emotionally. They take and suck every bit of emotion you have through the day. And then by the end of the day...
It's a roller coaster.
You're done. By like 9 o'clock, we're done.
Yeah.
We're like,
check, please.
See ya. It's a Saturday. You want to stay up till 11? No. Go to your room. Yep. Like, we're done.
Yep. We've had enough of you. We love you, but we've had enough of you. Good night.
Yeah. There's time. We hit our walls, and I would say... Sometimes I feel like even more so than some other parents. I don't know. But like I feel at nighttime, especially when we're tired, we're both tired. We are so done.
Yeah, that's when you lose your patience.
We're so done. We're like, we can't anymore. You just need to go to sleep.
You can be patient with kids like so much. And then if you're tired, then that thins.
Yes, very fast.
Very quickly.
So stress level is very high. We have 2 kids that are very stubborn personality children. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the same for every parent, but we definitely hit our very high stress. And honestly, I mean, the first year of our son's life, he was pretty easygoing. He was super fun, giggly, happy. It was really easy. And then he hit like, not even 2. It was probably 3. Like terrible 3s is more of a thing, not the 2s. So by the time he turned 3, we had a lot of stresses with him. He was very obstinate, very stubborn. He needed to be the one to turn off the lights. And if you did it instead, he would have a fit. It was very trying. So it's been pretty much hard ever since 3. And let me tell you, going into preteen years is not fun.
No.
That's not fun.
It's getting
worse. Infinitely worse.
Yeah.
The struggles are getting different. I mean, every year has its pluses and minuses. It's definitely different, but we're getting to the point where we're not even able to get our point across to him. Like, I think as the children get older, they're not as, they might have a temper tantrum when they're 5 and cry or throw themselves against the wall or the floor, but they get over it and they eventually listen to their parent. We're at the point where we're not getting a whole lot of listening.
Yeah. The problem is when they get older, they start to think that they know.
Oh,
things.
Yes.
They think that they know.
They're smarter than us.
Yeah, because they know stuff, they think that they know every stuff.
Yes.
They think that they know everything. They have all the answers. Well, no, you have some answers, and then you are assuming that you know the rest.
But most of the time, you're wrong.
You don't know.
You're so wrong.
You don't know any of that. And I know because I've been on this earth how many times more than you? How many years more than you have?
But that doesn't matter in their head.
So I will tell you from my knowledge, from my experience, how it is, but they don't want to hear it.
No.
Because they think they know.
Yeah.
That is so annoying. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Crazy. We've had talks, not even really talks because I shoot it down pretty quickly, but we've discussed about having a third child.
Really? When?
We have.
A way, way long time ago.
Okay, yeah, a while. Well, but it still comes up once in a while, and like my answer is always the same. Like, I am at my mental and financial limit with the two kids that we
Yeah,
have.
I'm pretty sure if I just so happened to magically conceive another child, I would probably be divorced.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that.
I think I'd be raising that child probably on the streets.
No, but like
somewhere.
listen, it's important. It's important to know your limits with things. Like I know that like with the two kids that I have, being probably slightly more challenging children than others, I'm at my limit. Like I know that I can't mentally handle any more than that, and it's important to know yourself as a person what you can handle. If you think you can handle one kid, then have one kid. If you think you have that kid and now you're feeling like you can handle one more, then maybe you can handle one more. But know your limits. Like know, how you feel with, the child that you have, because what you don't want to do is kind of bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
And have, more kids than you're able to be comfortable and in a sound mind
and
with.
mentally able to
mentally
handle.
stable with, because seriously, like it's so taxing on you physically and mentally that if you're not careful you can put yourself in a bad situation where you're not doing yourself any good, and you're certainly not doing the child or children any good. Because they need you. They need you at your best.
To be fully present and able
to have a good childhood, to have a good upbringing.
So I think this kind of segues into the second part of our topic, which is when in a marriage is a good time to have children? Is it better to wait a little while and enjoy your married life together? Or is it better to jump in right away and have your children right away? So we definitely have probably mixed feelings on this topic. So there's definitely pros and cons to this that we can discuss as well. So
Sure.
I would say the first pro, in my eyes, which was why I pushed to have children so early, I definitely was more on the camp of let's have kids like right away. Sean was not as much eager.
Yeah, I think I wanted to wait 5 years before having kids.
Yeah, that was definitely more of his
Yeah.
thought process. And
Which isn't unreasonable.
coming from my background, my mom had me when she was 21, I believe, 21 or 22. So I definitely had a younger parents.
Well, back in the Old West, kids had kids at like 15. So,
okay, we're not.
you know what I mean?
Old
Like
West.
in the past, like
Way back when people had kids
people
very
had
young.
kids younger.
But Sean's parents had him when they were older, so he had a different view on it than I did.
Right.
So
they both had previous marriages though too, so it's
a little different.
Yeah.
But I definitely wanted to have my kids when I was younger because my mom did that, and I liked having a young mom. I always liked that my parents were able to easily come to do activities and events with me, and they had the energy to do stuff and go to fun places on the weekends. So I just felt like I wanted to be that young mom, and I wanted to be able to still have energy for my kids. And part of me thinks that I judged that correctly because right now I have no energy, like zero. So if I had a baby now at almost 35, I don't even know how I could manage. I don't know that I could handle it. Yeah. Like I have zero energy. I could not imagine going through that.
It doesn't
now.
get any easier. So, yeah, there's definitely something to be said about having a kid younger while you still have the energy to handle it.
Yeah, that's definitely my thought there. So let's talk about a con.
Well, we waited, was it like 3 or 4 years? 3 years.
No.
After we got married.
We got married when we were 21.
Right.
I got pregnant at 23.
Right.
2 years.
Oh.
And then by the time that I had my baby, I was 24.
Right. So it was
but
like
I got
3 years.
pregnant at 23. So
So, like,
were
we
married
waited-
2 years.
Right, but we waited basically 3 years until we had kids.
Until the child arrived, yes.
Right.
But we
Which-
still had a plan for that year. So
Right, but I recommend that time frame. Like I think everyone should be married for maybe at least 3 years before they have kids.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's like the absolute for everyone. Just my opinion. I think that time, that 3 years, is a nice amount of time for a couple to just be together, and especially if you haven't been together a long time prior to your marriage.
yeah, see, it's going to be different in everybody's case
Right.
because everybody was together so many years prior. Plus, it depends on how old you are when you're getting married. If you're 35 and you're getting married, you'll probably want to start.
Might not want to
soon.
wait. You might not want to wait because it's at that point, and now it's like your chances are now dwindling. So
You're still fine at 35, but definitely,
well,
if you want to have 2 to 3 kids,
see, that's an individual thing though too. It's different per person. Some people are, inching towards like menopause earlier than others too. So like
that's pretty early. But
it's
anyway.
different per person though.
Anyway, if you wanted to have more than one child, I would say at 35.
Get on it.
Go for it.
Get on that. You don't want to wait.
Yeah, take his advice. Just, you
Yeah.
know.
But 3 years I think is a nice little amount of time to really kind of enjoy each other's company. You just have your alone time. You get to know each other really well, and then you have that foundation. You have that
Yes.
that relationship foundation that you can use, when you have kids and things become even more challenging. So
Let's go back to a con of having children young. Okay. A big con for me was I missed out on a lot of fun things with my friends. Like, they got to go do beach weekends away. They were clubbing and going to girls' weekends.
you went to some of that.
I went to one when I was 20 and I couldn't even legally drink. So that doesn't count.
Wasn't a lot of fun then. Huh?
No, it wasn't. And then by the time I was 21, I was married and didn't want to leave you for the weekend. So
sad.
I missed out on a lot of things. And I think in that respect, that leads you and pushes you more towards having like a midlife crisis, because I feel like now at 35, almost 35, we're not really mentioning our ages on here, but I guess I just did.
You've done it multiple times.
Whatever.
So might as well just tell them that we're
gonna
both
be
34.
We're gonna be open and honest. We're 34. I'll be 35 in like 7 months. So inching more towards that, I think now I am more willing to like, hey, let's go to a club, or hey, let's do a girls' weekend. And now all of my friends are just starting to have their kids. So now nobody's available to go have a girls' weekend,
They have young kids.
Yeah, they have babies. So
And we understand it because
yeah, we get it.
We've been there, done that.
We definitely get it.
We know.
But we were on an opposite track of our friends because we met so young.
Yeah.
Because we met when we were 15. So
we get to go through our midlife crises now.
Yes.
Early. So
yeah, I would say like
so much fun.
they might not get to that point until they're in their, late 40s, early 50s. We're hitting it now. Like
Yep.
it's coming full force.
Yep.
And
so if I show up like with a motorcycle like tomorrow,
yeah, that'll
you'll
be
know
great.
why, right?
I'll know why. It doesn't mean I'll be okay with it.
Exactly.
So that was a con. What's another pro that we can say?
You can get kids to do stuff for you, which is cool. Like
Our son mowed the lawn today.
Yeah, our 10-year-old mowed the lawn.
Not great, but
No, terrible. He did a terrible job. But he did it. He did the bulk of the work, like for me, on a zero-turn tractor, zero-turn mower. He didn't break it, and he didn't hit anything that I know of, and he did the job. I had to go out for a half hour and...
more than a half hour.
No, it was like about a half hour. I went
Like
out and-
every 15 minutes.
No, I was checking on him because it's a machine and, he's 10, so I was trying to be
Okay.
very observant to make
But
sure
then every now and
everything
then
was cool,
something happened and he'd pop in. Dad.
Yeah,
Dad.
it stalled out on him for, I don't know what he did, but he turned it off, so I had to turn it back on. But
when they're...
I did go out for about a half hour touching up all the spots that he missed, but it was his first time.
When your children are getting older, it's nice that you can appropriate them some chores to do. So we definitely enjoy that.
It's so nice to just have a break from having to do certain things.
Nice. We have him doing dishes and his own personal laundry.
Yep.
And he cleans the dog poop, which, let's face it, nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants that.
So that is his job. He doesn't love it. He probably gets maybe half of the poop in the yard. But
you know what? We let him live in our home for free, and we take care of him, and we buy him stuff and everything that he needs. So you know what?
He can clean up some dog
People, your kids owe you, okay? I'm gonna put in a bleep there, even though you didn't say anything.
Why? You don't need
It'll
to.
be funny. It'll make it sound like you said something else.
So yeah, definitely. It is nice also when you can kind of like lay back on the couch and be like, "Hey, daughter, go grab me a Coke from the fridge." Like, I know it's petty and it's little.
Kids, bring me a beer. It doesn't matter which one. Just one of you.
It's just nice to every now and then have them help you out a little bit. And most of the time, they don't give us too much of a hard time about it. Definitely our daughter is more willing to help than our son, but she's approaching 7 and she's still a little eager to please.
Yeah, that's the age.
Once they hit 10, then they really don't.
They're looking to get out of
want
stuff.
to do anything. Yeah, they don't want to do anything. So except for play video games and eat you out of house and home.
Yep, snacks.
So we definitely got into some pros and cons there, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're thinking.
But in conclusion, kids are great.
They are.
They really are a joy, and it's something, like I said earlier, it changes you. And like it's a parent thing. Like you
would never go back or imagine life without your child.
You can't even put it into words what it means, what it is, what it feels like. Like it cannot be described. That's how amazing and astonishing it is. So just know that I can sit here and list cons for an hour, but it doesn't even matter because it's the indescribable pros that make it all worth it. So just know that, if you take anything away from this, just know that kids are something that will change you for the better. And it's something that you won't regret, I don't think.
No, you would never regret. I can't imagine regretting having any children. And if you're somebody that's struggling to have children, then, that's a whole different topic and a whole different ballgame. So, definitely our hearts go out to you if you're struggling. And just know that you will get there at some point, whether it's, your own children or adoption or...
Yeah, just know that you do have
anybody.
Options. Like
There's so many options.
If you can't get there, just know that there are thousands of kids out there that need loving homes and parents. And please consider that. So that about brings this episode to a close. I hope it was helpful to any of you that are debating on having kids and kind of wondering, what you should do and when. Hopefully this was helpful to you. And maybe Tanya would like to talk a little bit about what the next podcast is going to be about.
On the next podcast, we will discuss challenges and tribulations of a child's first year and things we might go back and do again or things we might go back and do differently. Thanks for joining us, guys. We had so much fun today.
So much fun.
Hopefully you join us for the next podcast.
We'll see you there.
Thanks for listening to That's a Parent. Be sure to stay connected by visiting that'saparentpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook at fb.me/that'sapparent.